What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Nerdy Dating. I'm your host, Zakka, and I got Bre back on another episode here. Today's episode topic is about exes, and do they matter? Are they important? Well, we're gonna open up from a podcast I love listening to called the You Up Podcast. Shout out Georgiana and Jared Freed, Georgiana Abraham and Jared Freed. They had a question that came on there that made me spark this episode. So I'm actually gonna play it because I was just gonna go off of what the question was, but you know what? I'm gonna give credit to them. So I'm gonna play it, and then we'll go from there.
Without her having to say anything.
Yeah, I guess.
And they could be listening right now.
And he puts the pieces together.
Do you ever think about that? Like someone's like they are listening. We are speaking to them.
Yes.
Right now, she's like.
They sent a question in, and they're talking about.
In the beginning, she's going. This is me. This is me.
I don't like this podcast anymore.
Hey, honey, didn't we go in Madison? Aren't we planning on?
Jared Freed's a comedian, by the way. So
must be very popular.
and Georgiana, she's the head of a company called Exes.
My boyfriend and I have been together for a little over a year and a half, and we are both 26. He is my first long-term relationship, and I see us being together for the indefinite future.
Boy, she makes it sound.
Indefinite future sounds like.
Indefinite, yeah.
I even got a little nervous.
Oh, it's like those.
It's a long time.
Those captions, like 1 year down, forever to go on the anniversary. It's like
perpetuity.
Yeah, can you just chill?
Yeah. How
about happy anniversary?
Take it year by year.
Right.
However, when the conversation of exes comes up, I always leave the conversation feeling frustrated and confused. I am his fourth long-term girlfriend, and the way he talks about his exes concerns me. First of all, he hates talking about them in general. Whenever I ask questions about them, it's like pulling teeth. I'm honestly just curious since I don't have any exes of my own. And as you've said on the pod, how someone talks about their past relationships tells a lot about that person. So I'm trying to get to know him better, as well as better our relationship and make sure we don't make the same mistakes as his past relationships. Second, when we do talk about his exes, he calls them crazy and doesn't really have anything good to say about the relationships. I've always heard that it's a bad sign if your boyfriend is calling his ex crazy.
Yeah.
But could it just be that the relationship turned sour? If who broke up with who matters, the first two girlfriends broke up with him, and the third breakup was mutual. He was cheated on. If he had, it sounds like not exactly mutual. If he had,
we mutually discussed that she should fuck someone else while we're together.
If he had one crazy ex, fine, but all three. And now, to get to what prompted me to write this email. We had a situation happen last weekend where we ran into his high school girlfriend, his first ex, and her family back in his hometown. The conversation between him, his ex, and her family felt a little awkward, but he played it off as if it was just an old friend. As in, after the encounter, he didn't tell me that she was his ex. But of course, unbeknownst to him, I knew this was his ex. Of course she did. Like, wouldn't he know the first thing I did when we started dating was stalk his Facebook and Instagram to make sure I was hotter than all his exes? I'm only kind of joking there. Okay. A couple of days later, I asked him why he didn't just tell me that was his ex, and he didn't have much to say besides that he was sorry, I guess. Okay. I feel like if I had any exes and we ran into them, the first thing I'd do after the encounter was tell my boyfriend that it was my ex we were talking to. Why wouldn't he tell me? So, what do you guys think? Is how my boyfriend is talking about and dealing with his exes a problem? How should you talk about your exes? I don't know if you deep dived into this topic yet, so any insight you can provide me is much appreciated. Signed, hoping to not be crazy ex number 4.
Well, she's well on her way.
Well, writing into a podcast that your boyfriend listens to with you on road trips is probably on the way.
After telling him that you looked up his high school girlfriend.
I would have...
Yeah. All right. So, what are your thoughts on that?
So
that question.
I think that it's really important if you are in a relationship and you're asking your partner about their past experiences and relationships. I think it's really important to see how they talk about them. Because if he's like, oh, she was crazy, she was a beast, she was this, she was that, like, that's showing that he doesn't really have much respect for them or for women or maybe for his girlfriends. I don't know. Like, it's really important to just kind of see how he talks about them. Because what if you guys break up? He may talk about you the same way. Like, that's just not okay. And I don't think that it matters if he was cheated on, if it was a good relationship, whatever the case is. Like, if he's respectfully talking about her, then that's a good sign. Honestly, that's a good man. So,
right.
what about you?
if you're asked about it, yes, I think you should talk about it. I think you should bring up the conversation. Don't get frustrated or walk away, because then that seems like why you're getting frustrated about this relationship. Like, did you do something wrong? I definitely think if that comes up where the ex, like, hey, who's your exes? Like, how was your past relationship ends? It does give the person insight on like how the person talks about them. Like, if that person, the person you're talking to or dating, they talk about them negatively, then like, all your exes did something horrible. Like, what about you? Like, did you take any self-reflection out of this relationship? Did you get something? How did it end for you? Like, the one where you cheating on, he's like, it was mutual. Cheating on is not mutual. To me, that's a sign of disrespect to the other person. Like, you don't care about that person, so you decide to cheat on somebody and they break up. That's not a mutual breakup. That's you ending something because you don't want to be hurt or can't deal with. Like, it's not worth being in a toxic relationship and getting cheated on. The first you breaking up with him, I've been like, yeah, what was their reason for you to break? Like, what was their reason? What did they say? How did the breakup happen? Like, I really don't want to know all the things that went on in a relationship. I just want to know, like, when y'all broke up, why? Like, what was the reason behind the breakup? Now, if my significant other walked around, we met her significant other somewhere, I wouldn't be like, oh, is that your ex? I wouldn't even care. Like, to me,
Really?
Yeah, to me, I wouldn't even care at all. Like, and I feel like it's not necessary to our relationship. So why would you need to bring up the fact that your ex is right
So, like,
there?
what if they're like, okay, so what if it was like a long-term relationship and they ended it mutually and it was on good terms? Like, you know, I mean, you can say what's up. Like, hello, I'm Bre, nice to meet you. Like, I don't think it's a big deal, you know.
No, that's fine. Like, if it was a long-term relationship, whatever the case would be, and it ended amicably, and then like was no issue, I wouldn't be like, is that your ex? Why are they talking to you? Like, to me, I'd be like, okay. And then she was like, oh, that's my ex, by the way. I'm like, okay.
Oh, okay.
Like, I wouldn't even think twice about it.
Oh,
Like, it wouldn't, like, for her, she said I brought it up 2 days later on him. Like,
so she was like festering on it, like.
Yeah, she was sitting on it. Like, this dude, my name's on business, and all of a sudden, so why you tell me that was your ex the other day? Huh?
Yeah.
Imagine him like watching a movie, like, hey, babe, let's sit down and watch, Martian.
She pauses it. She's like, so let's talk about it. I'm gonna be like, what? What? Huh?
What?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't know I needed to tell you. Like, that's my high school girlfriend. Like, that's her high school girlfriend now. By him saying they're all crazy, stuff like that, that's a flag. To me, all your exes are crazy?
Yeah.
All your exes are crazy? Not one of them, like, normal?
Yeah.
High school, that's crazy. She's crazy, man. I couldn't deal with her. She's too much. I gotta get out. Oh God. Yeah, no. So I definitely think talk about your exes. If you're being asked about it, yes. But also sometimes you don't want to go digging for something because like what does that benefit your relationship, you know?
I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I may ask in the beginning, I may ask later on down the line if we're, monogamous and we're long term at this point. But I think that it's kind of important to ask certain questions.
Like what, for example?
So, like, how did you guys communicate? Like, did you guys sit down and talk about things? Was it more like conflict? Like, I don't know. It just kind of depends. But did you guys communicate effectively? Was it healthy? Was it argumentative? I mean, that stuff really is important. So yeah.
Interesting, because I wouldn't even think of it like the communication. I would ask her how the person, like, how do you like communicate? How you like to talk about things? How you like, if you got a fight, do you somebody who handle it in the moment, or you walk away and like we gotta settle it later? Like, I would like to know about that person versus like a time in your relationship where you had an argument. What was it like? Kind of more like I guess dating is an interview question, but it'd be more like, what was the time in your relationship you got an argument? What was it about? What was the end result? Like, that's a good point, huh? But like usually when it comes to, for me, when a lady asks me about my relationships, like why did it not work out? Like they start doing a comparing game to like, am I like on her level? Am I not on her level? And when you get that point where like, for example, like sexually, I had been asked like, what this person done here and what you do here, and I said like, well, this happened, that happened, and they try to compete against a ghost that didn't exist. And like I'm at the point where I would no longer. Somebody asked me like, what did you guys do in the bedroom, I probably won't say anything because I'm like, oh, we just had, it was a good time. Like, I'll just leave it at that because, like, I don't need you competing against an ex. No.
And I think, like, I'm 27 and I've been in a long-term relationship for a while, on and off, granted, but I've been in a relationship for a while, and I personally feel like I'm very secure with myself to where if I'm asking my partner about his exes, to whatever the topic may be, like, I'm not gonna compare myself. I'm not gonna be so insecure about it because I think that it's healthy to know how their past relationships were. Like, that's how I feel about it. Like, it is healthy to know how they broke up, how long was their relationship, how many relationships have you been in, long term, short term, like it does matter. So, but that's just me. So.
And I've seen it backfire where I've been like, oh yeah, we're talking about it, and then like all of a sudden it turns into
like oh what?
Yeah, like how about this person here? Like, God dang it, no, we're not doing this today.
Yeah.
I just want to sit here and watch Pokemon. I just want to watch Pokemon. That's all I want to do. I don't want to talk about that. But anyway.
But I like having just deep conversations about, just
which is good.
That, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get to learn more about somebody too, having that conversation.
Absolutely.
Now, next question here. So we already said established, talk about exes, you think they're important or not. So you say they are important.
Yeah.
I say they are important.
Like a certain extent.
I'm gonna say a certain extent, and that's like me just backing out. Like, they are important, but like medium.
Can't ask the question.
They're mid important. Like, to me, yes, it is important to talk about, but it's not to the point where like you're comparing yourself to a ghost of somebody's past. Yeah. Like, if they want you to talk about, I think talking about them is more important to see how they talk about their past relationships and how they discussed it. Like, they say like, she was trash, all was trash, that person was trash, that person was horrible, and like they're like having on a pedestal. I'm like,
yeah,
you're not. Like, hold on, bring yourself down.
You're not God, babe. Like, what did you do wrong in the relationship?
Exactly. Like, what could you could have done? What could you done improve your relationship? Like, oh, well, I could have done this, but like somebody said there in this self-reflection, that's somebody I would love to date because they know exactly, like, not know exactly, but they would know, like, yeah, I could have done better here. I could have been better here. I could have done this. But then, okay, question: do you ever go back, or is it healthy to go back and look at what your exes are doing?
If it was like a fling, or if it was like a very short-term relationship, it's kind of irrelevant. If it was like a long-term relationship and you guys built a friendship and you were friends with their family and things like that, I mean, it may be okay. Like, you may reach out to them, hey, how you doing? I got a kid on the way. How you doing? Like, I think that's okay. I mean,
so a healthy relationship ended amicably. So like they had an amicable relationship that ended. You say it's okay to be friends with your exes?
Honestly, yeah, I think that it's okay. I mean, my boyfriend, all of his relationships prior to me have been long-term, which I think is attractive, and that's awesome. You can maintain a long-term relationship, but most of them, they have ended respectfully, mutually, and on good terms, to where they are still friends to this day. They're on his social media. So I'm not going to get insecure about it. At first, that was the first for me because I was never really with men who had a history of long-term relationships. So naturally, I was just kind of like, why are you friends with them? Like, I didn't understand. But like, I started to understand. And I was like, okay, you just changed my perspective on that. Like, I understand better now. Like, I get it. I'm not going to get insecure about it. I understand. So I think that it's okay to be friends with your exes. If it ended okay, like it's all right. And if you guys had a friendship too, like it's okay. So
now, what if it wasn't a friendship? Like,
yeah, like I said, I mean, if it was like a little short-term relationship or all you guys did was just have sex, why are you searching for their page? Why are you on their stuff? Like, why are you even talking to them? Why do you need to talk to them? Y'all weren't friends? We're friends. We're together. Like, talk to me.
Yeah, well,
but no, I don't think that it's necessary to do all that if you're, yeah.
Like, I would say, personally, I have one ex I still follow. Mm-hmm. It's been since college. I still follow them. Mm-hmm. on Facebook, and they pop up every once in a while. I'm like, oh, good for them. Like, I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
The rest of them, I do not at all. But I have went back and looked up the third one. I looked up the third ex to see, like, is she doing, did she get what she wanted? Because she broke up with me. So I was just curious, like a few years ago, I looked back and was like, did she get what she wanted? Did she finally get, what her goal was out of a relationship? And no, she got it. I came across like, good for her. Like, so they do a golf clap, like, good for you,
darling.
I'm happy for you. I did it because, and I did something I do all the time. It was just something I did in the moment. I was like, I'm just curious. Like, let's see how, not comparing yourself to everybody else, but like just seeing like, how your ex.
Does he look better than me?
No, completely different guys. But at the same time, I'm just like, good for you. I'm happy that you got what you got. I hope you got what you wanted. And it wasn't even me like looking to reach out. It was just looking at me just be like curious, like open up the rabbit hole, just like, what's down there today?
I think that like that's okay. Like if you're single and you're looking for an ex friend to see how they're doing, or you may want to reconnect. I think that it's okay if you're single, but if you're like in a relationship and it's long term too, like, no.
Now, okay, what if an ex reach out to you? Like,
so is this an ex that was short term, and you guys did not end on good terms? You guys weren't really friends. Y'all just pretty much had sex, and they reached out to you.
General.
And you're in a relationship or no?
Okay. Relationship, the ex reach out to you. How would you feel about that? Like, what would you like say? Like, oh, my ex reached out to me. Hey, babe, my ex reached out to me. Like, that's crazy, right? Like, what?
So, like, what would your reaction be?
Yeah, what would reaction? Like, we go block them. Like, hey, I'm in a relationship. I'm doing good.
I'm not gonna say you have to go and block them because that's too extreme. But like, if it was that short term relationship where y'all were just having sex and things like that, and it wasn't really serious and things. You don't need to block them, but what are you responding for? And you're in a relationship, like what? Mm-mm.
So, do you think a girl? I mean, you kind of already answered this earlier, but you think a girl should get mad at her boyfriend, and vice versa, a boy be mad at her his girlfriend if they're following their exes? Like, you said like it's a short term. Like, let's say they're all short term relationships. Like,
all short term. Mm-hmm. It depends on what you were doing within that short period of time. Were you just having sex? Were you trying to build a connection? I mean, did y'all build a friendship and it just didn't work out? Like, it just kind of depends, like on what you guys were doing within that time period. So that does matter. So, yeah.
Because I don't think I've ever been to the point where like a girl's like, I need you to unfollow her. No, I've been to the point where like I need you to take the pictures down of the exes.
Of them?
Yeah. So like, it's been like, a few months have passed and like that, so the picture's just been like sitting there for a year or something. I don't go back and clean my Instagram. You follow my Instagram, you can go back to the very beginning. You'll find
2010.
like you can find like everything on my Instagram, like my very first picture and everything. And I remember one of the girls I dated, she's like, I need you to go take the pictures down. I was like, just for you, I'm gonna go do it. Like,
yeah. So my boyfriend has pictures like on his Facebook, because Facebook has been out for a long time now. He has pictures of his exes and them together, but this was like high school. So I'm not going to trip. Like, y'all were a little high school.
Yeah.
Like, no. But if it was like, honestly, like more recent, like, I may be like, I don't know about that. Like, I don't know.
That's such a good point too. So high school, college, like at what point you be like, nah, high school, like it's somebody's like, oh, that's my ex from high school. Let's say you and your babe was out and about, and like an ex from high school came up, and let's say he was short term, because high school could be considered short term, depending on what you look at. High school shows up. Let's say they dated 2 years in high school. Shows up, now 10 years ago. Good Lord. How would that reaction be? Like, he was like, who is that? And he'd be like, oh, that's a girl from high school that dated. Like,
so are we talking about after? Like, so with this interaction, are they actually interacting? Hey, Tyree. Hey, Sarah. How you doing? And you keep pushing. Like, all right, am I reacting after that interaction? Or am I like...
like you see that, like you see somebody, like what advice would you give somebody, like, hey, like, or what advice would you give somebody, or you saw somebody do that, would you be like, hey, who was that? Like, oh, that's my, ex from high school.
I mean, it is what it is. That was your ex from high school. Oh, she's pretty. Or oh, she's ugly. Like, okay, let's continue grocery shopping. Yeah,
Right.
it should not just, it shouldn't be a big deal.
Shouldn't be a big deal. I like ask like you think like a person should be like, oh, your ex from high school, like
No,
No.
it should not even be all of that. Like, unless you're an insecure person, like I said before, which I'm not bashing anybody, but unless you're not comfortable with yourself and those things bother you, just seeing them out with your man, like, if that bothers you, that's not a good thing. And you need to look in the mirror and be like, I'm beautiful, I love myself, and that's just it. Like, no, just keep moving. Don't let that bother you too much. So.
yeah, I agree with that too. Like if your ex, if your significant other come across their ex, don't be like, who is that?
Yeah.
What are they doing? Like don't be like, what are they trying
You
to
were
talk
looking at their butt. Hey.
You trying to talk to him again? Like no, like I'm here with you. Like trust your relationship, trust the person that you're talking to, be committed. Like they're not giving you signs or giving you signs of doing things that showed you like they're messing around. They will if there's somebody who's not committed to you. There will be signs. Don't be blind by it. It will give you signs.
And if y'all like see each other out and your boyfriend, like, because this is important too, like if you are out with your boyfriend or your girlfriend and you see an ex and you're not really introducing your partner to your ex, that's kind of a red flag in my opinion, because that's like, hey, I'm here. So yeah, I think that, yeah. I think that's important.
It is.
Like how you interact with that with your new girlfriend versus like, you know.
The interaction.
That's important. Yep.
Yeah, and what they do in that moment shows you like how they see you and
And how they see your relationship too.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Now another question. Okay, you've been on and off with your boyfriend.
Call me out.
Well, you said it multiple times.
I know, it's okay.
You said it multiple times, and then I know other friends who, one couple is married for over 10 years, and they was on and off at the very beginning too. Like, at what point you think it's like okay to be on and off? Like, how many times is okay to be on and off? Like, 3, 5, 15, 67.
Look,
like,
okay.
once a week.
I am not the one that I should not answer that question, but I don't know. I mean,
but what makes it different from like the first time or the second time or like the 78th time? Like I'm just throwing this. It's not that big, guys. I'm just throwing like
I need to
situation.
just end it and move to different states at this point.
158. I'm like, no.
Every day.
Every day, this notebook every day. We just cancel it, start over every day. There's the 51st dates. Every day we start over. Break up at night, wake back up, bring back together again. Do it every day. But like, in seriousness, no, like, if you guys went through a breakup.
Yeah.
At what point you was like, hey, if we do this again, this is it. There's no like, I don't know, like, cause we already know what each other been through. We are already comfortable with each other.
Yeah.
We didn't work out the first time. Like, what's gonna make this time different from the first? And that's where, like, I feel like a lot of people who go back to their exes, like, and go, well, they cheated on me, but it's fine. I'm back in the game. Like, what? Hold on, pause. It's fine. So, like, at what point do you, like, say, like, okay, you know what? We all and off again, and let's try to work this out. Like, is there, like, a growth period between? Or just, like, hey, we argued last night. Today, we're back together.
That's kind of a broad question, and I will try to answer this as best I can. I feel like it depends on why you guys are breaking up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if your partner is just consistently cheating on you, you guys break up, get back together. Like, you need to end it immediately and never go back. So I think that if it's cheating involved, that you just, no, that should not be a repeated thing. Like, no.
What about timing? Like, if timing's off, like, should you go back to somebody because, oh, well, the timing was wrong? Do you believe in that?
Oh, yeah, I totally do. I mean, people, because you guys may be in different points in your life where you're more established and that person's not, and that person's not ready for that relationship. So maybe in a year or two, let's come back together. I think that that's perfectly okay. I mean, it is a case-by-case situation, and what is the situation? So, yeah. It just depends, man.
It depends.
Yeah, it just depends. Was it communication? Did you guys not communicate the best and you guys needed a break or some space to just kind of gather yourselves and discover yourselves and see what works for you and et cetera, et cetera? I mean, it really depends. So
At this point, I actually think about like a break. If that's going to happen, it's best to at least take a couple of months apart. Mm-hmm. Take some time away. Get to know who you are before you go back into that situation. Sorry.
excuse you.
Thank you. Go back into that situation because like if you broke up with somebody and y'all broke up for a week and you're like, I'm already texting them again. There's been no growth.
Yeah.
No, if there's a video game here, no character development. Like you haven't or watched a movie. Like there's what progression have you done in a week? You don't know what you're like. You don't know you like the same food. You don't know you like the same food 2 months from now.
Exactly.
There's no growth. Versus like take your time away, get used to who you are, and then like if everything's going good in life, and you're like, I still kind of miss that person, and you reach back out, and they like, I still kind of miss you. Reach back out, that's different, and y'all try to make something work. But also like you said, why you guys break up? Like timing, it just wasn't the right fit at the time. Like why did you break up? Or you like if you were like, oh, I just want to find myself. I think, and this is my thought.
Yeah.
If somebody told me they wanted to find themselves, I'm like, okay, that's fine. Go do you. If they reach back out to me, I'd probably be like,
Really?
I don't know why. I don't know why I would. I don't know why I would reach back. Like, if somebody's like, I need to find myself, and they broke up with me, and they came back around, like, years later, and I'm still single. I don't know if I'd be like, how'd you find yourself?
Well,
I was like on that journey.
like, are they finding themselves because they just want to go and like sleep with people, or they want to like actually like grow as a person and discover who they are and discover what their likes and dislikes are? Because I mean that can happen. Like,
Right.
That can happen.
It can.
It can be healthy. It can be a healthy journey.
I get that. I just like, to me, and I'm probably speaking to the part of the crowd here, I don't believe in like second chances because of dating. I don't know.
What?
I just
Are
don't.
you serious?
Kid you not.
Dang.
Yeah,
why? Why?
If it didn't work the first time, what's the likelihood of it not working the second time? Like if I'm being myself, being my true authentic self throughout the whole relationship, and it didn't work the first time, what's the likelihood it's going to work the second time?
Growth. Whether that's from you or them, but more so for them. Because if you feel like you're putting your all into that relationship and that person's not, and y'all split and some time goes by and you guys possibly reconnect, maybe it's just friends. Like, hey, dang, how you doing?
Well, friends is different. Yeah.
I know, but I'm saying like y'all are trying to build a connection romantically, and then it just does not work out, regardless of what the situation is. And then time passes, you guys reconnect, whether that's following each other on social media or seeing each other out in person, and y'all just reconnect in general, and y'all start talking again, or whatever the case is. Like, growth can happen within that period, so where it may work out again. Like, you never know.
Right. I get that. It's just like, I will always think in the back of my mind, and this is more of a me thing, is that like, it didn't work the first time. So then I'm gonna start getting, let's talk about insecurities here. I will get insecure. I will get insecure because I'll be like, well, this is me being myself the first time, and they didn't, and I'm still the same me. I'm still like, still being myself, being authentic. If they don't like that, then what's the likelihood of them liking it now? Now, let's say, like you say, the growth, it'd have to be a trust thing, but I wouldn't be easily to open up to that person because I'm like, I got rejected the first time, if that makes sense. Like, I gave it my all the first time and got rejected, shut down. So
are you growing enough in that period to where you're like, I forgive them, it's the past, like...
But the past is coming back to the present.
So, yes, but at the same time, it's different circumstances. So are you growing as a person individually to where you're not letting those things affect you? Like, you're turning over a new leaf, clean slate, like the past is the past. Not that person necessarily, but like, you know what I mean?
Right. But like, if I'm growing and moving and getting better, but then the past comes back to the present. It's like, hey, Ali, let's do this again. I'll be like, what about you have changed?
Is that gonna be your first like thought?
I'm like, what about you, chick? Because I gave it 100% last time. I was all in, and you was like, yeah, I know you're all in, but let's go ahead and pull the rug and like all the cards down. You know?
That's because we were talking about this a few moments ago, where it just kind of depends on what the situation was and why you guys broke up. So if it was a very negative experience, I probably am, like I said before, you probably shouldn't revisit that past.
Yeah.
So it is a case by case thing. So if it was something small like, oh dang, she didn't brush her teeth. No,
I can't do that.
I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding.
I can't kiss her. I can't talk to her. She can't be away from me. Babe, I can't hear you. You're too far. Oh, God.
Let me smell your breath real quick. No.
Get mouthwash. Get some water.
No, like,
just don't drink it.
What's something small to you? Like what? Like she snored or something? Like, for real, like, let's be real. Like, what is something small to you that can occur in a relationship that could possibly break you guys up? Like, nothing major. Something small. Maybe communication. That can be.
Communication's not small. That's major.
That is major. Okay.
Small? Like something petty?
Because people break up over weird stuff all the time. I don't know. I can't.
Not having anything else to talk about, I guess, communication. But, like, one conversation, I guess if it's just simply like a one-note conversation where there's not anything, like, interesting being added, like just the regular, like, how you doing today, how's your day going?
Yeah.
Like, if it's just a constant, like, every day, it's not really, like, anything, like, deeper than just, today we went to the park and, saw a hummingbird. How was the hummingbird? Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
How's your day? Well, I'm at work. I'm fine.
So that could possibly mean, like, they're not necessarily open and comfortable with going down that route yet.
Yeah.
So maybe in a couple years or a couple months, they build that comfortability within themselves.
There's more dating, yeah.
Like, I mean,
so like that. So that would be a thing, like to break up. Like I was saying, because everybody has their level of like. Everybody has at this point has their own baggage and bring it to the relationship.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think like.
I don't know.
I think I have one. 3 or more dogs. I'm allergic to animals. Like, allergic to dogs, allergic to cats, horses, mice, dust.
Like you're allergic to all of those?
Yes, I'm allergic to grass, the sunlight at certain times. Like, I can break out a rash from that.
Oh my God.
Reed, pollen, like things that trigger my asthma attack. Like, I'm allergic a lot.
Jeez.
For me to be around, like, I can do 2 cats, 2 dogs. I can do that. And it won't mess with my allergies as much. Like, I can body adapt to it because I've dated girls who had most with cats, most with dogs, and I can adapt to it. But 3 or more, I notice my body does not just adjust. Like, it is hard. So for my allergies, it might be petty. So some people like, you don't want to date somebody with 3 dogs.
Well, you might die with those 3 dogs.
It's hard for me to do that.
Yeah.
Like, not trying to sound mean or anything, but like, if 3 or more dogs, I probably do like too much fur, too much hair around for me to be like, I can't deal with this. Now, I want a dog myself. I want a corgi so bad.
Aww.
But at the same time, I know that'd be one pet. I can deal with that. Manageable. To my allergy pills, they're not gonna hurt me.
Yeah.
But then like 4 different dogs, 3 or more, and the hairs everywhere. 4 dogs, stuff like that. Hairs everywhere. Like, that actually, it's really messed with me. Like,
for sure.
And I've been in a situation where I got like, I want to go to a pet shelter, and sometimes I can't go to pet shelters. Because there's like just so much animal fur. I'm just like, can't see by the end of it, dying. And it sounds horrible, but my allergies are that bad. So somebody like, this dude's a dog hater. No. And then on top of that, I can't have conversations about dogs. Maybe because I'm not a dog owner, so I just can't really sit and like.
Do you just not have anything to add to the conversation, or you just don't want to?
I can't add to it. It's just like, neat. So what did your dog do today? Oh, well, he got into the Cocoa Puffs and got it all over the floor.
Oh,
that's
cool.
messed up. How'd you don't handle that? I don't know. I cleaned it up, yelled at him, put him in a cage. Neat. I don't know how to add conversation. I can't be like, oh, my dog, because my granddad had a dog, my grandma and granddad had a dog named Muffy. Love Muffy to death. We had a dog named Cherry who ran away from us when I was a kid.
Oh, so yeah, very bad experiences.
Well, not bad experiences. Like, cause Muffy was like with me for 7 years. Mm-hmm. She died like when I never forgot Muffy's death. I never forgot that death. And then YL, our cat that lived with us for 20 years. Never got YL. And then there's Amber and Kayla right now. Luna just got introduced. And there's Lala. Wait, no. Lala is Lily. Lala is Russ and Liz's dog, which love Lala. Lala's a fun dog. Love hanging around Lala. Love hanging around. I can't get the dog's name right now. It's just with me. Rory. Rory's been around forever too. But yeah, if it's too many, like my allergies flare up, and it's all at once. Different spaces, like different parts of the house, not a problem. But I think, but that's allergies though, so that's not super like.
So if you were dating initially and they had 10 cats and dogs and you were like, oh my god, no, and then
I won't be able to survive.
2 years and 2 years later you guys meet or you guys come across each other and she's like, yeah, I live in this apartment and I have no pets. Oh, sweet. Well,
what happened to you love pets? I'm now worried about the animals. Like, what's going on with the animals?
She gave them to a shelter. She couldn't afford them. I don't know.
Oh no. You've been like a bad pet person. You put the animals in danger by hoarding animals. I can't trust you.
Oh God! What? That is going down the wrong path. Like, no.
This is my thought process.
See, now I see. Now I get it. Now I get you now.
Just saying. Just saying. I would like.
No. No, that's so bad.
I get it now. I get you now. I'm single. Like, this is why Ali's single.
This is why he's single. Listen to me. Don't listen to him.
I'm just giving you the other perspective on it here.
This is a nice long-term relationship. Maybe on and off, but listen to me, okay?
4 relationships last 4. Each one lasts 4 months within the last. So I actually started dating was 20. So 10 years of dating. 10 years. I have experience at this point. I should be like a doctor.
No, you really should.
Doctor
you need to go
dating.
write a book.
Doctor dating.
Dr. Ali dating.
Nah, but so we're getting sidetracked at this point. So
literally.
Exes and coming back. So and the ex coming back to me. I would have to take my time to really just sit there and okay. And it'll be hard for me to be like, okay, this is why I will probably go back and what did I enjoy that relationship? What qualities of this person that I really enjoyed? What qualities of this person that I didn't like the way they made me feel about this point. I didn't like the way they made me feel in this situation. And see would the good over trump that and be like, all right, it's worth going through again. Like you said, if it was a traumatic experience or it was a horrible experience,
do not go
back to rabbit hole again. So that would be my thought on going back to the ex. Any other exes question you can think of or anything like ex topics?
Would you hang out with your ex with your new girlfriend?
It's
kind of a weird question, but
no, I think it's a valid question. For me, we would, like you said, have to be friends. There would have to be somebody this person was in my life for 5 years plus or 3 years, whatever the case may be. I knew her before we decided to date. It was we're friends or knew each other. Then became let's give us a shot.
Yeah.
Cool. And then it didn't work out. We stayed amicably friends. We didn't break up. We didn't get upset. Wasn't anything horrible. We just had the right match. So if my new girlfriend comes around, I'll usually say, this is my friend right here, so and so. And then as the conversation came up, she's who's that? Well, now I'm trying to say, I said we dated at one point.
That my boyfriend has this one ex, because he's an awesome male. He's an awesome man. Love you. But when he talks about his exes, he never really bashes them. And there's an ex or two that we've talked about that seems really cool, and I would honestly consider hanging out with that person. Not just me and them, but all of us together. I think that would be,
Yeah. I think if you're confident enough, in a group setting, go for it. And plus they both moved on and they're just friends about it. I think that's fine. Now, because like you said, if it's shorter, I dated her for a month. And
I was hell no.
No, then I'm why are you still holding on to this person?
No.
Now it could be a connection where we was really cool cool person, good spirited, kind spirited person. It's just that we just couldn't work out.
Work out. We were better as friends.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay.
But then again, I probably wouldn't bring that person around my girlfriend until like I feel like my girlfriend and I was established enough, comfortable enough around each other. We're like, hey, this girl I talked to for half a month. I don't know. I'm literally trying to think like, why didn't we sit here and say like, yeah, I hooked up with her multiple times before I dated you. Like, I probably wouldn't even say that. But like, this is a friend of mine. Like, how did you know? Like, I guess she's like, how did you meet her? I'm like, Tinder.
Oh.
Yeah, which I actually have a friend I met that way, where we met through Tinder, didn't hook up or anything. We just went on a date, like didn't work out, but we played volleyball together, stuff like that too. So like, it wasn't anything like it was amicable. It wasn't anything like, oh, this person here. Like, it was a date that's just a cool date that didn't anything sprung from it. But like, I haven't hanged out with them in forever, like pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Yeah, that. So, I don't know what I would say. Like, she asked, I'd be like, oh yeah, no, we met on Tinder or Bumble or Hinge or a dating app. I would say that.
Yeah.
I would definitely say that versus like, oh, that's just so and so. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
If she brought up a question, she's like, hey, who is that? I would say.
Yeah.
And then if it comes to like, why do you still need to be with them? Or why do you need them in your life? I'm like, well, this person's a cool person. I knew them before you came in the picture. Like,
exactly.
I would say that versus like, I'm not going to cut off my whole family, like, cut off my whole friends. Like, this person was a cool friend. Yes, we hooked up. I seen her butt. Like, but. but
oh, shoot.
No, God. No, I would, but yeah, I would say that. I was like, yeah, no, somebody I hooked up with.
Yeah, I wouldn't even want my boyfriend to meet. I mean, if it was like a random meeting in like Walmart, hey, hi, keep it moving. But there's no introduction that needs to happen. There's no interaction that needs to happen if we were just like,
what's up, Troy? This is. If you pull over here,
I know.
You
No, that is so disrespectful. Yeah, no.
How's your life going? Here's my girl.
I know, like.
What's going on? Like, why? Ali, I met so and so. Here you go.
Know, like,
look at him. He's taller than you and more wealthy. Why did you tell me this? Like, I don't need.
Yeah, like that's just.
And he does. Like, I don't need it. I'm like.
Exactly. Like, no.
That sounds so toxic.
And he drives an Audi. Like,
And Audi, Ferrari, and he lives in a mansion on the north side of Kansas City. Why are you telling me?
And he has no kids. I'm just kidding.
Well, dang.
Yeah.
What about that question?
I don't know.
Because don't like the ones who went over like social media following. I definitely think reaching out to the ex. You reach out to the ex is bad. Like, if you're in a relationship, but the ex reach out to you, it's like, hey, I'm in a relationship. Like, cut it. I think you cut it off. Like, now unless you're friends, like they said, like, know somebody long enough, fine. But anything other than that, like short term, and they reach out to you, and you're like in a relationship, like somebody doing that, that's horrible. Like, do not do that.
Yeah, it depends on what their intentions are too.
So like, for that, bring this back around for that girl, who she should be concerned that her boyfriend gets frustrated every time he talk about her exes. Yes, this be sounding concerned, like, why are you getting frustrated about this question? But at the same time, I don't think, like, if he just says, like, hey, they first relationship ended, they broke up with me, the last one cheated on me, leave it at that. I wouldn't trying to pull out, well, because this is also her first relationship and she don't want to be crazy ex number 4, but you're already doing the things that sound insecure where you keep trying to compare yourself to the other exes. Don't do that. Just be calm with yourself, enjoy your relationship, enjoy where you're at, and don't worry about the exes, because he gave you all he wanted to give. There's no point in trying to investigate her social media. So, okay, on this page he did this and he did that.
Following Jenny and like.
Nope. Want to watch a TikTok and react to it real quick?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. All right, guys, we got a TikTok here from Cole Zeiser, Zesiger. Anyway, he's posting like how to get an ex to be almost jealous of you and how to try to get them to come back to you. So, somebody said to him, bro, I did the no contact rule with my ex and it's been 3 months with no contact, but she still stalks my Instagram. So I'm gonna play what his video said here.
This is usually pretty good news because it means they're curious about you and that they're thinking about you. You've got to be really careful because if you go too overboard at this point, you post yourself being with other girls or looking like excessively on top of the world, like everything's amazing now that she's gone. Or the very worst thing, if you're posting all these really deep quotes like, I never knew how good life could be until I was alone, then they're gonna get turned off pretty quick. I would post sparingly, posting things that are happy with your family and friends without any secret messages to them. And then just let that curiosity build until they reach out to you. Follow for more tips to repair your relationship.
He said follow for more tips to repair your relationship. So he's saying like you broke up with your significant other and they're watching your stories and he's like how to try to get them to reach back out to you pretty much. Yeah. Like what if your ex watches your Instagram stories? Yeah, they can be curious. This is a thing. Like they're reaching out to you or they're just going through the cycle of the stories. They haven't blocked you yet, so they're just going through the cycle. Like they get on, like click on each person. It's like I don't do it, but I know people who don't like the circle there. They don't like to sit in the story, so they just start clicking on people's story to get them out the way, to clear them out. And that could be the same situation. So he was telling the guy to don't post anything to show like you having fun, having a good life, posting motivational quotes like that. You just post your friends and family and post sparingly on your stories. Like you're not doing anything. What do you think about that?
I don't know because it's like, are you guys still following each other? And she's just going to your page and looking at your stories. I don't know. Yeah.
To me, it's like a game. It's like a game you're playing. Like
that is definitely an immature game, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
this is 100% a game that he's playing. And he's telling the other guy like the no contact rule. Don't reach out. Let them reach out to you. If you go through this and you break up with somebody and you're still having feelings, you're wondering how they are. Yeah. And the dude says it's been 3 months. If you're noticing they're still watching your stories, I mean, you're still curious too. But what have you done? Have you improved? Have you had personal growth? Have you done anything? Are you the same person you was before the breakup? Or you've completely not completely changed, but are you gotten better? Are you healed from a relationship? Are you living life and you're like, you know what? We ended amicably. I want to see if there's something there anymore. If that's the case, reach out. If you see them watching your story for 3 months, I mean, you're waiting for them at the contact. If you're that invested, reach out. If it ended on a good note, reach out. If it ended on toxic, don't do it. What do you think?
I agree. Yeah.
Want to add anything else to that? Okay, what about you from your perspective? Like, what if, like, a dude was doing that to you?
Why did we break up? Are we following each other still? Are you searching for my page to look at my stories? Right, I don't know.
Let's go 2 scenarios. Let's say y'all blocked each other. Because, time to heal, whatever the case would be, so you blocked them. Yeah. I can see blocking them won't be able to follow you.
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to see your stuff.
Okay, what if you blocked them and then went back and unblocked them? That's not like too much work. I got time for unblocking people. I'll forget I blocked you. Like, what happened?
Yeah, and that whole thing is just, like you said, it's just playing games. Like, that's a weird situation to be in.
Right.
So.
Yeah, no, I don't like that. To me, it's just like, don't do it.
Don't do it. No. Don't do it.
Like, if you're still 3 months down the line and you're like, I'm interested, reach out to them. Just say, hey, I've been thinking about you. Can I reach out and, get a cup of coffee, go on a little quick date to see if there's any fillers. Like, you want to make a grand thing. Just like, I just want to reconnect again.
Yeah, be mature. Yeah. Speak your mind. Reach out. Like, if you want something, just go get it. Yeah.
But then you know it's going on the same rabbit hole we went through before. You're like, well, get out. I'm done. Well, Bre,
I'm gonna head out.
thank you. I'm gonna head out. I was like, thank you for coming on to this episode.
Of course.
Do you want to do that other TikTok, or you want me to save it for another time?
Another time.
Another time it
I
is.
was hungry.
Bre, thanks for coming on to the episode of Nerdy Dating.
Yes.
Guys, if y'all want to send a question to Nerdy Dating or a TikTok or a request or something like that, you can send it to alizakkanerdydating@gmail.com. That's alizakkanerdydating@gmail.com. Be like, hey, Ali, can you check this TikTok out? Or if you follow me on socials, Ali Zakka, you can send me a TikTok. I'll go review for an episode of Nerdy Dating. Well, thank you guys so much for watching the episode. I really appreciate y'all, and keep being awesome.
Yes.
Thank you for watching this episode of Nerdy Dating. I really appreciate it. If there's another episode you want to watch, you can look at it right there. If you want to subscribe to the page and watch more content, it's down here. Also, you have a question about dating you want to put in the comment section, go ahead and do it. Or you can send me your dating question to my email of alizakkanerdydating@gmail.com. That's alizakkanerdydating@gmail.com. And I will answer your question on the next episode of Nerdy Dating. Thank you so much for watching this show. I appreciate you, and keep being awesome.